Welcome back, guys. This is King Weaves It, and this is What If Deku Lost His Mom Part 3. Last time we left off with pretty much Season 1 of My Hero Academia ending as per normal. Not as per normal, it was quite different, especially because Deku did literally use one of his ultimates, which was basically his Infinity expansion, and to push away all the villains from the water. Anyway, now Deku goes to help Aizawa, and he helps him. But we know that pretty much after this, Deku, All Might appears and taken control pretty much. All Might pretty much destroyed it. The no. Anyway, now we head into season 2. As I said last part, I'm pretty sure I did mention that we'll be covering season 2 in this part, and we begin with, of course, the next a week or two later, Class 1A comes back into school, and Aizawa comes in with his bandages and everything. However, he's not as injured as he was in the original because of Deku being there and actually pretty much not saving him, but kind of saving him from the Nomu's grasps. But anyway, after this, they do get told about the UA Sports Festival, and now, of course, I was about to say Team 7. Class 1A does have a week or so to get ready, and they all train. Midoriya, of course, doesn't really need to train, to be honest. He's already OP as he is, honestly. Anyway, of course, he knew that this was his chance for an internship, so people could see, pro heroes could see that he's something, and he can make his first steps towards, not glory, but towards some sort of a spotlight, and so some people could know who he is. And anyways, because right now he is pretty unknown to the world in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, just like Shigaraki is right now. Well, no, he is not. The League of Villains is getting kind of bigger right now. Anyway, now, of course, the sports festival will begin as per normal with the race, and Midoriya here, the race does begin as per normal. How Shoto pretty much freezes everything. However, Midoriya was actually able to get rid of the ice by actually melting it, and said, well, that was kind of flashy, don't you think? And everyone else starts following after the two, especially Bakugo, and Bakugo does get over Midoriya. However, Midoriya doesn't really care. As long as he just gets in top 3, it's fine by him, until someone takes him over, and I'm going to say it was actually Ida, don't ask why, and Midoriya's like, hell no. And after this, pretty much, he gave himself a boost by Iron Manning himself into, basically doing the same thing Bakugo is doing, using an explosion. However, he's not really using it from his hands. He actually used it from his feet to actually gain some speed, and actually started literally running, not sprinting. Basically, he wasn't like Ida, he wasn't like Bakugo or Shoto, who were just going with their quirks. Midoriya was just running, physical strength, and he actually caught up to number 2. And he's like, might as well just go for number 1. It's only Shoto. And of course, the Shoto actually says, Midoriya, I'm not going to lose to you again. And of course, he says, I didn't lose to you. In fact, you didn't lose to me. In fact, I lost to you. Last time, technically, it was your win. I said it. And basically, takes over. And now comes the minefield, pretty much the final bit. And Midoriya realizes that right now, his quirks are pretty useless, unless he uses his final quirk, which no one knows about except for All Might, intangibility. Of course, Midoriya was going to use it. Remember, intangibility makes him intangible, so even if he steps on one of the bombs, he can just become intangible and nothing would happen to him. However, he doesn't want that to happen because people would get suspicious on what's going on, like, how's he doing this? And he doesn't want other people to find out about his other quirk. Anyway, so Midoriya realizes what to do, and actually uses one of his shoes Yes, he uses one of his shoes. He actually wants, well, first of all, he actually uses one of his shoes to actually create an explosion because the minefield is pretty big. With just one explosion, Midoriya would only land like a quarter way through it. Through 4 explosions or from his hands, with his fire quirk would be more than enough. However, really, it would just send him in a minefield, in the middle of a minefield, where there's mine everywhere. Well, there's bombs everywhere, and so he actually uses the first bomb to actually give a boost to himself. He uses his shoe, and a bomb explodes. However, not a bomb, but one of those grenades. The grenades explode, and Midoriya uses the explosion as a boost to his fire quirk, and pretty much uses his fire to actually give himself more of a boost and pretty much land at the end of the minefield and starts running towards the end while Shoto pretty much gets there with Bakugo, and of course Midoriya Izuku gets first and Bakugo gets third. Shoto gets second and Bakugo gets third as per normal. And anyways, now of course, since Midoriya is first and Baku is third and everything, they have the most points, and everyone pretty much makes teams. Midoriya doesn't really need a team, to be honest. Like literally, he doesn't really need a team. However, he actually does team up with Asui, and yes, this time he's actually teaming up with Asui to actually pretty much be the anchor, so the top. So she's at the top, basically using her tongue to actually steal the bandanas and pretty much the get everyone catch everyone off guard because no one's gonna expect a long ass tongue coming out of nowhere and taking your bandana off of you. But anyways, she's going to be the top and. Midoriya, and I'm pretty sure the cavalry battle is with 4 people. Let me quickly. No, is it 3 or 4? I think it is 3 people. Yeah. So it's Midoriya, her, and as per normal, Tokuyami. I had to search his name up because I'm kind of stupid. Anyway, Tokuyami is still part of the team, using Dark Shadow, of course, and of course, Dark Shadow will be one of the ones to actually steal um the bandana as well, so they can all steal pretty much. Anyways, this team is actually pretty OP if you think about it. Midoriya could just boost them, especially with his quirk, and remember you're allowed to use your quirk, so Midoriya could just use his quirk expansion last second to make everyone like get the hell out of their face and pretty much of course destroy everyone last second and still be in the battle and be the last one standing. However, he wouldn't do that because that's kind of OP and he knows that himself. And anyways, Midoriya's team actually comes in 4th because Shoto was actually able to steal the pretty much bandana, and he was actually using his fire quirk, which actually made it harder for Bakugo to take it. However, it's the same exact teams who actually pass. I'm just going to say instead of the acid girl, I forgot her name. It's just gonna be Uraraka instead of her. And yeah, so in Bakugo's team, it was him. It was Bakugo, Uraraka, and I forgot how to do it. As I was searching who it was, I remembered Kirishima. Anyway, yeah, it's Kirishima's in it. And anyway, of course, the teams are pretty much exactly the same. And anyway, the final part of the exam, well, not exam, but sports festival, so the one-on-one battles began, and Midoriya was still going up against Shinzo. I'm pretty sure it's Shinzo, let me check, because I'm kind of stupid. Look, bro, listen, I am dumb as fuck. Shinzo, wait, I spelled it wrong. Shinzo versus Midoriya. Yeah, it is Shinzo. Yeah. I knew it. Man's smart in that. Don't chat to me. Anyway, don't at me, bro. Yeah, so if you come against me, you're fucked, bro. Man's knowledge is on the next level. Man's a higher being, bro. Anyway, Shinzo does still talk about how people with his quirks are lucky, and Midori actually does say he is lucky, and pretty much allows himself to speak because he knows how to how to withstand Shinzo's pretty much quirk, and he says that he is lucky. In fact, he has more than one quirk. Well, he doesn't say that he has more than one quirk, but he says that he's more lucky than others, even people with a quirk, and he tells Shinzo that Even so, it doesn't mean that he can't be a hero. As long as he has righteous, well, intent and his ideals are good, he can be a perfect hero. And even with this quirk, which you can't fight with, he can be OP and he can save many lives with it just by making a villain talk. And pretty much Shinzo's like, that's enough, you've lost. And pretty much Deku starts walking away, and everyone realizes that that's Shinzo's quirk. And the tail dude, I forgot, Ojo, is it Ojo? Yeah, Ojo, isn't it? Like, yeah, Maji Ojo. Yeah, so he does tell Midoriya as per normal. However, Midoriya actually did know and pretty much said, unfortunately, your quirk doesn't work on me. And Midoriya was actually able to withstand it, and Shinzo's like, how can you do it? And basically, Midoriya says, with a broken smile pretty much, and everyone saw this because the camera zoomed into him, he said, my mind's already been broken. And everyone was confused on why he said that, except for Bakugo and All Might, because All Might does know what happened to Midoriya back in the past, and even Aizawa knew. Aizawa actually did know some. He actually did make some research on Deku and how he lost his mother because of one of his own classmates, and this classmate still his classmate to this day, and pretty much he understands, and he actually feels a bit bad for Deku, especially because pretty much Deku must have went through a mental breakdown after pretty much his mother's death, which he did. And anyways, now of course Shinzo actually said, all right, he gives up, and well, Midoriya then says, Shinzo, either you walk out or otherwise I'll have to fight you. And Shinzo was going to fight, but then realized that Midoriya was being serious, and he realized that if he fought Midoriya, he would stand a chance, like, literally. Midoriya seemed strong, he came first, and he allowed himself, like, he wasn't even trying. Man was running, fam. Man was running. You barely even used his quirk in the first part of the exam, and the second part of the exam, in fact. He could have been at the top, but instead he allowed someone else to be at the top. And anyways, now, of course, Midoriya walks off, and the rest of the fights go as per normal in the first part, and the Kirishima and the other dude pretty much draw, and now they're pretty much fainted. Now it's Midoriya versus Bakugo, not Bakugo, Shoto. Of course, Midoriya and Shoto are friends here, you remember I did say it, and Shoto wasn't going to hold back because he is using this quirk, and Midoriya does still meet the pretty much, and Dava says, heroes like you shouldn't be called heroes. I don't know why they call you a hero. Number two, my ass. You're not even a hero. I don't know why you're number two. Remember, you can't be a hero, especially when you can't even save your own child. And what he means by that is that Shoto went through like he was broken, like literally. We've seen it, like Todoroki was not good in the face, like in the mind. I say face when I mean in mind. Like if you know me, IRL, yeah, you know why I say you're not good in the face, bro. Are you good? Are you good in the face, bro? Are you good? Anyway, now of course, he does tell Endeavor, and then Endeavor says, "How do you know any of this?" And Midoriya says, "Well, Midoriya actually was able to pretty much get up to his face, even though Endeavor was so much taller than him." Midoriya was mid-air and he was floating thanks to his quirk, and don't ask how. Anyway, of course he's next to him, and his fire is actually bursting out. No, it's just around him, and of course Endeavor sees this and he's like, Toya, and Midoriya's like, who might that be now? And he says, listen, I know more about Shoto than you ever knew. Did you ever know you pretty much broke his mental psyche? You took everything away from him. His mother hated him because of you. He hates you. In fact, he never even used his fire quirk because he reminded of you. It reminded him of you. Maybe start being a better father. Then become a better hero. And then you could actually be called a hero. Start from the bottom and then get to the top. Only because you have a good quirk, it doesn't mean you're at the top. You're a dead hero. He said shit hero, pretty much. And anyways, now, he actually kicks him in the face, and Endeavor actually pretty much, he isn't hurt by the kick, but it's hurt more by the words, and if he realizes what happened, like, he's been pretty much a shit hero all along, like, literally, he's been a bad father. He's not been a hero at all. In fact, he's like, let's be honest, a father's meant to be the kid's hero, isn't it? Like, if we think about it, all of us thought our dads were hero. Now we think they're fat shits that do nothing at home. Like, let's be honest, we all considered them as heroes when we were younger, and that was the complete opposite. Man's an actual hero apparently, and then like his own children hate him. Like, what's going on here? Like, are you good in the head? Are you good in the face? Anyway, of course, Midoriya and Todoroki do go at it, and at first they were just using their fists, literal fists. And anyway, I was about to say taijutsu. They were pretty equal in physical strength. However, Midoriya now said, Todoroki actually did try to use his pretty much eyes to end this fight, just like the first one he did. Like in the original, the tape dude, how he got absolutely finesse. Todoroki did try it. However, once the ice actually started building up to hit like around Midoriya actually melted it and said, "Do you really think it's going to work on me?" And pretty much he held out his hand to actually grab Todoroki's face and smash him into the ground or into the arena. And then pretty much Todoroki uses his fire quirk, and the Midori actually backs off because he realizes that Todoroki's fire was getting hot, and pretty much then used a fire blast at him at Midoriya, and it was coming out his hand just like what Broly does in the Broly movie. You know what I mean? Like, man, just blasting off everything. Like, his mouth beam thing, yeah, out of the hand thing, yeah. So man's beaming fire, yeah, and it starts getting so hot that it becomes blue, and Midori actually starts laughing and pretty much says that's it to the Shoto, and pretty much steps on the ground and breaks the arena floor to actually make like a small wall, not a wall, but pretty much a small barrier to protect himself from the fire, just like the mud wall, pretty much. If you watch my Naruto voice, so if you ever watch Naruto, allow the fucking police, fam, chill, fam, pussy, fam. You turn the sirens on and then you just stop it. Like, what's going on? At least keep them on to show that you're actually chasing something, fam. You just turned them off after one. Like, bro, we can see you. Pricks, fam. I respect the police. Still. Anyway, of course, Midoriya protected himself and there was a lot of smoke everywhere. However, then, pretty much, the smoke was put out by Todoroki once he actually used his ice quirk again to actually freeze Midoriya and created a massive iceberg, pretty much. And Midoriya was in it, pretty much. He was about to make his own move and he was just frozen and everyone thought the fight was over. However, Todoroki actually started using his fire quirk and created a fire wall, because then, out of nowhere, Midoriya, well, not only a fire wall, even an ice wall, and then Midoriya came out of nowhere, breaking through the ice, breaking the whole entire breaking the whole entire iceberg, and he started melting around him, and water was falling everywhere, and Midoriya then used a pretty much blast of wind, a gust of wind. He literally swung his hand to create a gust of wind, which broke the ice and blew the fire away, and this was Midoriya using All for One for the properly, like not properly, but he was using it, and he wasn't holding back because he knew that Todoroki was a strong opponent. And after this, Todoroki and Midoriya go at it for a little while longer until Midoriya has had enough and he's like, yeah, I'm good, that's enough for me, and purposefully actually slipped, even though he saw that little piece of ice where Todoroki was standing before. He slipped on purpose, which Todoroki actually did realize. However, instinctively he used his ice quirk to pretty much smash him away outside uh, you know, the arena. And Todoroki's like, why would you do that? And Midoriya's like, well, I don't feel like fighting anymore. So I just want to get out as fast as possible. And everyone actually heard that, and because Midoriya wasn't allowed to speak for some reason, and everyone was like, what? And Midoriya is like, yeah, I've had enough, so I'll see you in a bit. And actually goes back to the stands, and everyone's completely baffled, and Todoroki's like, god damn it, again. Every time he gets away, he never fights for real. And Midoriya doesn't actually want to show what he's truly capable of, because if he does, people are like, if he shows what he's truly capable of, people are going to realize that he has multiple quirks. My G, I'm actually counting, so infinity, intangibility, cremation, stockpiling, passing on the power, and then 8 other quirks on top of that. Yeah, so he has a lot of quirks, yeah, my G. Of course, you can't unlock the other predecessors of All For One's quirks yet. I repeat, yet. And anyway, now, of course, the sports festival go on until pretty much it's Bakugo versus Todoroki, and here I'll say that Bakugo actually loses because of Todoroki just being that much stronger and actually being able to train with Midoriya here and there, and using his fire quirk pretty much was able to just overpower Bakugo, and Bakugo realized that even his special move wasn't enough because he was actually Todoroki was actually able to since he was using both his fire and the ice sides or quirks, pretty much the ice wasn't actually affecting his body and his movements, and the fire was actually melting the ice that was actually freezing his body, and in the end he was actually able to overcome that one, so if the fire overheated him, the cold or the coolness of the cold of the ice would cool him down, while if the cold of the ice started melting, not melting him, started freezing him, the heat of the fire would melt the ice, or the cold, or it would heat him up, warm him up. Louder thing, yeah, man don't know English. Anyway, he did win, and Midoriya wasn't in the podium. It was actually let me search the crow dude up again. Crow Raven, fam, what the fuck is his name, fam? My G, Tokoyami, yeah, he still comes third versus Rock, I'll just say that, instead of the, Acid Girl, and he comes third, Todoroki comes first, and Bakugo comes second, anyway, of course, after this, Midoriya was actually heading home, because there was no one to, hang out with, his mom wasn't there to take pictures or anything, he didn't have many friends either, however, people the whole of Class 1A actually stopped him and asked why did he quit. Even Bakugo and Todoroki were there, and they did ask. And the Midoriya was like, I just didn't feel like fighting. What's the point? I mean, I don't have anything to fight for. Anyway, I'll be going home, and everyone stopped him and said, "You're coming with us." And pretty much we're going to just throw a party for, how Class 1A did come out on top. Pretty much, with the top 3 being from Class 1A, which was pretty obvious that it would be them. But anyways, of course, Bakugo actually joins it because he actually wants to become closer to Midoriya. And remember, he is trying to act more friendly to Midoriya, like I did last part. Of course, Midoriya found the cringy. But anyways, now, anyway, we move. Of course, after this came. What came after this? Shit. Of course, Ida still found out about, Stain pretty much injuring Ingenium, his brother, to a point that he can't be a hero anymore, and pretty much now he went to the internships began, and Midoriya actually didn't go to any of them. Gran Torino saw that Midoriya knew how to use All For One, and in fact he actually sent him a letter saying congratulating him, and actually telling All Might that he's become a splendid teacher, and he actually does come during the 2 weeks of the internship where Midoriya actually just took a break, and instead of doing anything, he was just there, even though of course Shoto made sure that pretty much his father sent one of the internship invitations to Midoriya as well. Of course, Midoriya wasn't ready yet, and instead of going straight away, he actually took a week off. And anyways, now in the end, Midoriya was about to go. However, Gran Torino did visit them and everything, and so he actually did see that Midoriya is actually very strong, and they did make that one connection. Of course, this is for the future once I cover what's happening in the manga right now. And anyways, now of course Midoriya does go into the internship with Endeavor and says goodbye to of course his favorite hero All Might, and anyways his mentor, and pretty much it's now I'm just saying, remember, Midoriya does still have his father. However, I'm just going to say his father doesn't exist here. Louder thing, fam. We don't even know who he is yet. Anyways, we are in the final act of My Hero Academia, unfortunately. Anyway, we move. Now, of course, Midoriya does come and, do the things with Shoto and pretty much become even greater friends than what they already were, and they do go to, they do get called because of the no moves and pretty much either going up against you know Stain, and Midoriya does realize this, and so they actually him and Shoto do go. And remember, Midoriya during that one party, he did make friends with not remember, he did make friends with Uraraka and Ida, and anyways. Now, Ida was in trouble, and Midoriya and Shoto came to save him, and pretty much Stain considered them as true heroes, actually coming to the rescue for other people, not for revenge or anything. And anyway, the fight against Stain began.
Oh shit, my hands. Anyway, so basically, you know, so like the fight is very different. And like it's actually unfair against Stain right now. Of course, Midoriya wasn't expecting Stain's fighting style, like literally killer moves and everything. Like, what's going on here, bro? Like, you should have done that. Anyway, Midoriya actually had to use one of his ultimate moves, which was Infinity Expansion. Shit, I need to get something. 1 second. Got it. Infinity Expansion to actually push Stain away so Todoroki could freeze him. However, Stain, being the fucking smart killer he is, he throws his katana up in the air, and as soon as he lands, he actually cuts Midoriya's cheek, which then renders Midoriya pretty much paralyzed. He can't move, and in the end, Stain actually breaks out of his the ice that Todoroki used, and pretty much goes to end the two, saying that they were worthy opponents, worthy heroes. He's not going to kill them, however, he's going to injure them enough that they're not going to be able to move even when he's not using his quirk, and he's heading towards Todoroki at top speeds. However, then Ida mustered up all his strength and used his whatchamacallit, fam? What's Ida's ult? He's a reciprocal burst, and you know what I mean. And after this, of course, Midoriya actually broke out the paralysis because of Stain being pretty much stunned for a second there, and then they all attack at the same time, and in the end, Stain was captured. And anyways, now after this, Stain does still do the same exact thing. However, Midoriya actually doesn't get paralyzed by this because he's not scared of Stain. Even Stain's just sheer will didn't affect Midoriya, and this was actually caught on camera. And Stain, right before his lung gets punctured, he says, you will be just as great as All Might, and then pretty much faints because of his lung being punctured. And all the pro heroes, even Gran Torino, who was actually sent there in the end, actually, got free, and Stain was locked away. And of course, the police that were on the case did say that they're just going to let Endeavor take the credit, and Midoriya's like, alright then, whatever, don't really care about the credit, but couldn't not be any other hero, a worthy one. And anyways, of course, the police officer says what, and Endeavor actually was there this time because he was actually kind of worried for both his son and Midoriya at this point. He actually did see a bit of Midoriya did show him a bit of light, but anyways, he enlightened him basically. And anyways, after this, of course, the season 2 ends after a bit, and the League of Villains started making thrive. Like, bro, they become big, and people are noticing there were kids there. Like, a pro hero nearly got killed, and okay, the number 2 hero was needed to stop Stain. And what if someone even stronger than Stain arrives? Then what? Like, what's going on? What if someone stronger than All Might? Because they're getting worried. Like, what's going on? So many villains, hero killers. What's going on? And thanks to Stain's ideology, people start joining the League of Legends, League of Villains, and in the end, Darby still joins. However, Darby sees Midoriya, and anyways, Midoriya is someone that he actually saw, and he actually found very interesting, and he did some research. He was in an internship at Endeavor's hero company, hero agency, and I'm not going to spoil anything about Derby if you don't read the manga. But anyway, of course, he finds very interesting, and Endeavor usually takes only people who have like similar quirks to him. Fire and Midoriya is not one of them apparently, but Endeavor knows that he can use a quirk to do with heat. That's why he's seen it. He melted Todoroki's ice without doing anything. That must have been a quirk. And of course, he knows that his quirk, well, Midoriya's quirk is pretty much repulsion. What Midoriya says that he can use air pressure, and of course he says that he can actually change the temperature in the oxygen around him, which actually kinda is OP. However, at the same time, it affects him as well because it affects his breathing. Whenever he makes it hotter, it's harder for him to breathe. Whenever it's colder, it's just harder for him to breathe again. So it affects his lungs, and pretty much it's a double. I was about to say double. No. A double-edged sword. So if you, however way you use it, you will get cut yourself. You will cut them, you will cut the enemy, but you cut yourself anyway. Now, that is where I'm gonna end off. Hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe. This was the King of Weeps. Don't forget to subscribe to Retreat Minimum Not to Dream. My friend Hxmesh on the second channel, DB Lover. I will be uploading the next part or a new series of Dragon Ball What Ifs. And anyway, don't forget to follow Shokiro on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, even though I don't post. And don't forget to get your good quality anime merch from Beautiful Halo. Use the link in the description below. Get 5% off on your next $49 plus order with the code MEME, MEME, and 10% off on your next $99 plus order with the code MEMES, MEMES. And also, if you want to get a good quality lamp that lights up at night, and you can use it with remote controlled batteries, or you can just plug it in to a power cable or something, and you can get an anime one. I got a Luffy one, so I'm happy. And yeah, and I'm moving soon on May 6th. You already know, man's getting his own room, and that man's got to light up the whole thing, LED lights, posters, everything. Man's gonna be a true Reuben. That like we seen, bro. Suck your mums anyway. So you can get 10% off on any of your orders, any price, anything you order. You can order $1,000 worth of shit, and you can get $100 off, or pounds, whatever the currency. I don't really know, but anyway, the code is LAMT the King of Weaves, capital L A lowercase now AMPT double E dash capital the King of Weaves. Only the O and F in the King of Weaves is smaller case. Oh wait, what? Lowercase, smaller case. And you can see the codes in the description below, and use my link to support the channel. Anyways, my darklings, you're dismissed, and peace.